best thing you can do now around LinkedIn is start today. Start today, learn it, grow it, evolve it, refine it, perfect it, and you'll go through that cycle again and again and again. So in the past, we didn't actually know the events people were attending, but in the digital world now, it's really quite easy to find out where your prospects hang out and the type of events they go to. So it allows us to profile where we should be spending our time.
So hi, Ben. Thanks for joining our round of 5 fire questions today. As you were participating in our HubSpot social selling ebook, and you were talking about modern networking and sales today, the questions will be around this. So let me ask you the first question. What is modern networking and how is it different?
Modern networking, it has so many different variations now versus what it used to in the past that I think we'll actually see that definition continue to evolve. But let's have a look at what hasn't changed. So what hasn't changed in modern networking versus what used to be termed networking is that there is an absolute requirement on salespeople to be doing it. Those salespeople that get out and network, they actually create themselves as a valuable proposition now and into the future, which means that their careers are actually a lot more solid. They have much bigger foundations. So certainly we haven't seen any changes in that. But what we have seen change is that where networking used to be very heavily face-to-face based, it's now actually spread across a number of avenues. So if you can be networking across digital channels such as social networking platforms, community groups, forums, providing information through blogs or places where people hang out, that's actually now classified as a form of networking because you're building that brand value and interacting with people digitally. It hasn't replaced that physical element around networking. It's still really important, business dependent, to be doing your local area networking or engaging with your key accounts and mapping through those organisations to make sure you've got a really great network. But for me now, the biggest change is that you have so many more options available to you to be able to network effectively.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks a lot. It was a very good answer. So I'm going to go for the second one. What are the key things to keep in mind for anyone looking to build a network online?
We speak a lot about, particularly with sales teams, about preparing for when you have customer presentations in particular, or when you go and meet a customer, learn something about them, understand what their goals are, right? Do some needs analysis. The same thing goes with networking. To really succeed at it, you need to prepare. So before you enter any type of networking event, it doesn't matter what it is, all right? You've got to make sure that you've done some homework about who you want to meet, perhaps what some of their drivers are, a little bit about their background, because you walk in with purpose. And when you can walk in with purpose, you never get lost in any form of networking event. The second thing I'd say that's really, really important is understanding what questions you're going to be asking, whether it's via keyboard, whether it's via video, or whether it's face-to-face. If you have a set of questions and really key topics that you're confident to discuss, then the other side, the person you're talking to, right, can spend the time talking and you're listening rather than actually worrying about what you're going to say next. So, and then last but not least, being able to provide value. And value comes in the form of asking questions, but certainly when you can uncover needs or opportunities that people may not have recognised they have, or certainly plant some seeds with them, you're creating value to have those further conversations with it. So if you're a networker who provides value through thoughtful questions and have prepared before the event, you are so far ahead of the majority of people networking today.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think for me, it's always the same. I also have a target list when I'm at a conference or somewhere of people I want to talk to and meet, like target accounts. So yeah, I prep also a bit for this.
Most people don't. I had a whole session on networking today. And he was a sales leader of a big team, and he doesn't prepare. He does now, right? But he didn't before that. So.
I mean, you can do, but for me then these conferences, because it's sometimes they're very efficient, but sometimes if you're not prepared, they are not, because you meet, of course, obviously a lot of people, but a lot of people maybe not right for your business. And then you have a lot of leads maybe at the end, but none of them are very qualified. So yeah, that's why I also check before an event that I have, like check in with the person and maybe to find the time to chat at the event. Okay, next question. How can networking be beneficial for sales professionals?
So traditionally, we look at networking as speed dating. Go to network, get as many business cards as we can, take those business cards, follow up. I think how the networking platform has changed is that there'll actually be quite a diverse range of outcomes that are beneficial for us as a business. So we may meet people at the network. We may leverage content from that network. We may have a target list. So the list of attendees, particularly through social networking, is shared quite freely. And we can use that as a platform to connect with future prospects. So we may attend a networking event of 100 people, only meet 5, but have 95 other people that we can connect with socially after that. And then outside of all of that, it actually gives us some real understanding around the type of places that our customers are hanging out at. So in the past, we didn't actually know the events people were attending, but in the digital world now, it's really quite easy to find out where your prospects hang out and the type of events they go to. So it allows us to profile where we should be spending our time. All of these tools were not available to us easily, probably even 5 years ago. So now those salespeople that are able to tap into that can build themselves whole prospect lists and valuable conversation bases just from the comfort of their office or their work. Right? It's fantastic evolution in how we network.
Now we also say the same to our SDRs, because before account executives, sure, they hold the relationship. So they obviously network a lot, but we also say to our SDRs that they need to be more active and more seen out there on LinkedIn and already build their network as well, even if they are just cold calling and they check for the first kind of interest and qualify them further and then push it to the account executives and they do the relationship work. Yeah. But I think as an SDR, you should start early as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. How can salespeople expand their reach on LinkedIn?
It's a question we see so much chatter about. Then there are so many LinkedIn ghostwriters and experts that we see around the world now. I think there's some really easy principles that anyone can take to how they appear on LinkedIn, and it's very common to what they do in the rest of their life. So the first one is create value. If you are creating value, then you have something that people want to see. If you then are delivering it in an impactful way, so that's understanding how your audience likes to see content. Is it video? Is it short form writing? Is it longer form detailed newsletters, right? So understanding what your audience likes. And then the third piece for me is being really consistent. It takes a significant amount of time to build a LinkedIn network properly. There are absolutely ways to short circuit it, but to build it properly with the genuine approach that sees that long-term value created, you need to be consistent. So for salespeople out there, I would say from all of that, the best thing you can do now around LinkedIn is start today. Start today, learn it, grow it, evolve it, refine it, perfect it, and you'll go through that cycle again and again and again. Because by the time being you need that audience, it's actually too late to start. So get to it now, and you are, again, a significant way ahead of those who haven't.
Yeah, what we also do is we try to find a list with people to follow, and then we try to engage with them via the comment section on their postings, for instance. Not directly a direct message, but first handle with their content, and then slowly the other person will text you anyway. Hey, what made you interested in my content? And sometimes you even have first discussions going on in the comment section, which is great. And here you can start, and then obviously you can also start with a sales navigator to form a list of your ICPs, so people you're going to sell to, so that they already have even you posting content that they have you in feed and subconsciously they know about you when you maybe approach them at the end for sales.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all about building branding, isn't it? You're building a brand and trust with those people. Yeah, absolutely. Great way to do it.
It is. Cool. Last question. How can sales professionals reach decision makers through social networking?
How can salespeople reach decision makers through social networking? Let me pause on this one for a minute. Right? That's a hard one. So reaching decision makers is hard. Doesn't matter how you try and do it, right? It absolutely needs you to be providing a nice sound level of value to that customer base, right? But in a social marketing sense, most of these leaders are hit up pretty regularly. So there's a couple of ways that I think are quite successful. Try and go the level below and the level above if decision makers have levels above, right? So if you can actually get to them from around them and the people that influence them, I think that's a fantastic way to do it. Something you mentioned earlier that I really like to get to decision makers is actually make yourself known to them. It's hello, I'm here. Hello, I'm here, right? And that's liking, it's commenting, it's adding perspective to their posts, because often leaders' posts in particular, people won't necessarily want to comment on those. So when you can be the one that stands up and does that. And then the last one, it comes back to that piece around value, is if you're offering the right product or the right solution, it then becomes about timing. So sometimes persistence can be really important to get to those decision makers, right? And that's on top of you using LinkedIn Navigator to segment and profile. But I've seen that work really well with my customers. What I probably will say is that if you try to get to the decision makers, automation's a really tough way to do it if it's automation without any personalization. And I know you guys are not about that. So that's something that when you can add a level of personalization, but some support in doing it on scale, then there's some success seen there too.
Oh, definitely. When you're commenting, I think it's important to have a qualified comment, so not just something, hey, awesome, hey, I like it, whatever. Like try to have a discussion ongoing in the comment section. So try to ask questions or whatever to keep people then engaged. And for me, a good thing I learned 3 years ago when we have been in our studies and we needed to do customer discovery and reach decision makers for this. What we did is we went to conferences and looked at the speakers online. But of course, obviously, I didn't attend the conference. But then I tried to get the email address from the speaker and then saying, hey, I couldn't make the time, unfortunately, but I found your topic very interesting. You were talking about at the conference because I have this and this about to say about this. Maybe would you be available for 15 minutes chat or whatever? And often people then, because it's about no one will come to them after a speaker engagement and ask per email about it. So it's quite unique. And then it's about them. So people feel often, oh, okay, someone was really interested in my speech I had. So often this works pretty well. And I got I think a meeting with a CEO of a $10 billion company. Just right like this within a week. So it was a light kind of hacky way.
It's tapping into people's natural inclination to want to help, which is an amazing part of humanity.
Yeah. No, that's true.